And today we're just gonna talk about the whole section, fossils and firebirds, with a prairie chicken as a picture in the Someday Birds by Sally J. Plop. So basically, in that section, we have chapters 21 all the way to 23. So that is going to be pretty cool. And let's dive right in. And actually, I think that these sections are going to be pretty interesting. And think about the prairie chicken. Was there prairie chicken on the Someday Birds list? What do you think? No, it wasn't. So why do you think that they're talking about prairie chickens? And firebirds. What are firebirds in your opinion? Okay, let's dive right into chapter 21. Are you the kind of person who takes all like the free pamphlets and maps? Are you that kind of person? Well, mostly no, but at times I'm like, let's get them. Because they're sort of like souvenirs in a way. Now, do you think that it's gonna be fun to travel through Montana? Definitely. But I can't believe that they're probably gonna skip Glacier National Park. Glacier National Park is one of the most famous national parks in the world. It's like in the top 10 best national parks, like in the United States. It's really famous. And they just are going to miss that. Yeah, I'm a big national park appreciator. I'm like, national parks, national parks, national parks. But I'm getting a little too much engulfed in this national park business. Let me stop. Now, do you think that Davis is, if you have been hearing Davis's tour guide voice, would it A, drive you crazy, B, make you happy, C, make you interested, and D, make you want to jump out the window and leave the whole family vacation thing behind? Okay, now, what did you think about the fact that now they're pretty high, so they even can see snow? Now, have you ever heard of the Archaeopteryx, or the first bird that evolved from dinosaurs? Question mark is right now over my head. There's a huge, big old fat question mark that's thinking, what in the world is an Archaeopteryx, whatever. I really think that those scientists should make the names easier. Do you believe that a dinosaur can turn into a bird? So, what do you think about genetics, science, and evolution? Do you like those types of things, or do you just don't like those types of things? Like I said before, I'm a big fan of science. And, when they get to the Little Bighorn, do you think that they're gonna like it or not? Now, I know that probably not a lot is gonna happen, but I have a feeling that something chaotic is going to happen. I know, that sounds strange, but I think it's time that a lot of chaos is going to happen. Like, remember that bison chase? What, buffalo chase? I think that now something else is going to happen. And actually, chapter 22 starts out with a cool quote. Real bird behavior can differ from our assumptions. I have witnessed bloody battles between jays and crows that have filled the air with squawking black chaos of war. Have you ever seen that before? No, I haven't. I mean, it would be pretty cool, but at the same time, I don't want any kind of war. Though I'm pretty sure that's just natural. But still, yeah, I've never seen that before. I mean, I've seen bird eggs before. I've even held one. It was in my yard because, well, it dropped out. And it was broken, of course, but anyway, I got to hold it, and after that, the other egg, which was still whole, bang, it was dead. So, are you really interested in stuff like the Little Bighorn? Because it seems like that's sort of a, like a, like historical. So I have a question. Are you more of a historical guy, or are you more of a nature guy, or are you more of a guy that isn't a historical or nature? I'm a nature guy. I love history, but if somebody asked, would you either go to this historical place, or would you go to a really nature place? I would answer nature. I mean, Little Bighorn versus Yellowstone. Sorry guys, but Little Bighorn stands no chance in my mind. Do you like war monuments though? Not really. They just make me feel really sad. Though at the same time, I feel sort of like this half mourning and half amazed and half like really, I don't know how to describe it, but war monuments, they at the same time enrich your mind with information and at times gratitude, and it's just really strange. War monuments can make really it can be really emotional. Now, if you have Joel and Jake, would you have been excited about free ice water? No. Now, I have never actually been to Little Bighorn Battle National Monument, but I still want to go there. And why do you think that Ludmilla doesn't like war monuments? Think about her past. Well, her brother. So let's do a quickly good thinking analysis. Ludmilla comes from a country that doesn't exist anymore. Of course, I'm pretty sure by war. So she wouldn't like war there. Her brother's dead. And it seems that it's been pretty recent because I want to get the name again. Sorry. Oh yeah, Dr. Joan. Dr. Joan was talking about how she was really sorry about Amar. And if Amar had died a long time ago, this probably wouldn't have been really relevant. I mean, yeah, it would be, but I think that you know what I'm talking about, right? So probably this was pretty near. Remember, what are some things that have been happening that have affected a lot of people? Yeah, there's a lot of things happening, but do you think that, think about that a lot. Amar, how do you think that he died? I did read ahead a little because the book was so fun, so I know some information, but really, I don't think I've actually gone to this part yet. I don't know. I'm just thinking and guessing. Now, what did you think about the reenactment? Because I guess that this beer belly guy is going to do the reenactment. Now, what do you think about that? What do you think about reenactments in general? I guess that they're pretty cool, but I still think that it's not really like smart to do anything like that. I mean, like, Why would they want to reenact something so terrible? I mean, it's it's such a terrible moment. Why do they want to be like, this, let's do this again, but this time it's gonna be like a play. Let's just remind everybody in the universe about this again. Why would they do something like that? I mean, yeah, it's really historical and all, but I really don't like it. I seriously don't like it at all. And now, what did you think about the fact that, look, they just left Tony like 5 seconds ago. 5 seconds later, Davis is in love again. Were you surprised? I almost fainted. I've never seen anybody who can just change love like his clothes. Like, she's like, the pants are stained. Throw, toss, new pants on. What's this? Big stain. Throw, toss. It's like that. I mean, it's like she's just throwing people. Like, she's like, throw, toss, throw. Ah! Throwing clothes here, there, and there. I've never actually read or seen anybody like that, but I'm pretty sure there are some people like that somewhere. So, what do you think about the battle reenactment? There is a sign there, and would you like to see the battle reenactment though, even if you don't think it's a good idea? And I know some people might think it's a good idea. I would, but I wouldn't look at it enthusiastically. I just want to know the details though, how it happened, because I just want to. I mean, like, it's not like I can stop it, so the least I can do is just watch. I mean, it's not going to make a difference anyway. Now, do you think that Jonathan Dylan Daniels is like, to Davis, if you mention Jonathan Dylan Daniels to Davis, what do you think is probably going to happen to Davis? She's probably going to be like, Jonathan Dylan Daniels? Who's Jonathan Dylan Daniels? She's probably gonna be like that. She's gonna be like, Jonathan Dylan Daniels? Yeah, he's really history now. I like it though, because I didn't like Jonathan Dylan Daniels at all. I have a question. Would you rather be at the Little Museum or the battle reenactment? The battle reenactment. Reenactment. I don't know. I don't know. My tongue's twisted today. But anyway, I would be there though. Maybe I would be in the museum. I don't know, because I don't really want for anything like that to happen. But it does happen, right? So that's the problem. And I mean, like, why are they celebrating a bad thing right now? People died in that. Do you think that Charlie's ever gonna stop his soap rinse habit? Yeah. I don't know, but I think he is going to stop it sometime. There's hope, but still, I don't know how he's gonna sort of start to begin to stop. Okay, begin to come to an end, to stop, yeah. So, Ludmilla is really sort of like sad or mad, right? And why do you think that she is? I don't know. And then she says, I hate this whole idea of a reenactment. And then she begins to say, because too many people just think of it as a celebration. Imagine, in 100 years, what if they reenacted the Sarajevo siege? She asked the wall. What if a bunch of people in the future think it would be fun to dress up in the clothes like my family wore in the 1990s and have a celebration picnic and pretend to kill each other? Now, do you totally agree with her? And like, who do you think even started the idea of a reenactment? Now, were you surprised that you've never actually learned about the Sarajevo siege, or have you? And were you surprised that Charlie didn't know? Okay, first of all, I wasn't really surprised that Charlie didn't know because they don't really teach like these types of stuff in school. They mostly teach these stuff. John Adams was the second president of the United States of America. Now that is important and all in my opinion, but I think they should also talk about more current events. Problem is, when they talk about more current events, students just get really scared. I mean, they think that students are just gonna freak out, which I think is just ridiculous. Do you think that all these teachers, the public education system is right now being terrible because they're just ignoring the things that are happening right now, and instead they're referring to stuff that happened hundreds of years ago, and even if it does matter that we know it, I mean like stuff that happened now, that's stuff that we need to learn. Something that happened 100 years ago. Think about it like this. Let's say you have a job appointment, okay? What is one question that do you think that you're not going to really like get? What's one question that they're probably not going to ask when they sign you up for a job for something, okay? What's one question? Probably, what was Napoleon's biggest defeat? They're probably not gonna ask that. By the way, that's, the Battle of Waterloo, but nobody's gonna ask that. Nobody's gonna ask, give me one invention about Benjamin Franklin. One invention was spectacles that he made. Point is, I don't want any of this to like really happen. I don't want for any of these bad things to happen, but when they do happen, I think that it's crucial that the public education system actually puts this in their system, their education system. They can't just leave that out. I think that they should put it in because politics is one thing that we all need. Now, so I just wanted to talk about this because this was a really serious thing that they're talking about in the book that I really want you to understand. I hope that you really understand in this part. I have another question. What is one thing that you think that they should add in the public education system that they haven't added before? Please, actually, this is serious. Like, think of one thing that you would actually write a letter. And it can't be something like making popcorn, unless you have crucial information and crucial evidence that making popcorn is going to be the greatest thing in public education. And yeah. Now, when suddenly that voice came on saying, "Howdy folks, just reminded that we're 2 hours away from the annual battle of the Little Bighorn reenactment, hosted as always by the Real Bird family. If you're interested in sticking around, it'll be down at Madison Trail, Cali." If you had been somebody who had just experienced a war, when you heard that voice, how would you feel? I would feel so mad and so frustrated. Now they're like, "Howdy folks, it's time for a battle reenactment to see all the people who've died. We can see them die again. Come over to see all their tragic things. Come on." I mean, like, no, I would hate it. I would just really hate it. Now, I have a question. If all the boyfriends that Davis has made meet together, how do you think they're gonna feel about each other and Davis? They're probably gonna hate Davis and the others. First of all, they'll hate the others because that's, like competition. And two, they'll hate Davis because she was making so many boyfriends, and they realize that she's not the only one that he isn't the only one she likes, and then he'll be mad because she kept all of the rest of them secret. So yeah. What did you think about Tiberius? I mean, do you think that he's like a dream dog? Because it seems that like Davis says, all my life I've wanted a golden retriever named Honey. So of course we end up with a scrawny three-legged mutt named Tiberius. I actually like the idea a lot. First of all, Tiberius isn't that much of a bad name. I like it. And I actually like the personality, and I can imagine how he looks. And he actually looks pretty cute when I imagine him. So, yeah. Now, what did you think about Ludmila's story? Were you surprised about all the depth in Ludmila's story? And can you finally understand a lot of things about Ludmila? And after this, do you still think of her as somebody strange and as a murderer? Or like a bad person, part of a cult? And how do you think that all this information changed you? I do not think of her as a part of a cult anymore. I actually feel really sorry for her and sort of protective in another way. I think it's because we really learned the truth. First of all, we learned that she's not part of a cult, and also when we begin to sympathize with her, we begin to like her a little more and a little more. We get to know her better. Knowing people better and sympathizing with them makes us also like them a lot. That's actually just a common fact. That's actually part of a scientific study too, though I can't remember which year and which group of people actually found that out. I don't know. And what about this Firebird? And have you ever actually, when you think of a Firebird, what comes to mind? What comes to mind to me is the Phoenix. The Phoenix is sort of like the Firebird, right? It, is as resilient as a Firebird. It can survive, like, if it dies, it gets reborn. So, the Phoenix is also another version of the Firebird. Can you think of something else that sort of reminds you of a Firebird? Now, so were you surprised that Charlie asked about Ludmila and why she was snooping around in his dad's office? And do you think it was the right time to ask that? I don't know. I mean, she seems pretty sad about it, but in another way, she's really calm, and I mean, in a way, it's a good time to ask her. In another way, it's not. And were you surprised that Charlie's dad knew of Amar? I was surprised, but I figured it out as fast as Charlie. I was like, oh, I get it. Amar is probably one of Charlie's dad's friends. And also, were you surprised when Ludmila found none? I wasn't that surprised. I mean, if she had found it, she would have at least told Dr. Joan, right? She would have shown her the photo, but not even that. And even if she gave Dr. Joan the photo or like showed her it in private, I still don't think that she found anything. Then I think that she would be in a more cheerful mood. I don't know. So, do you think that Ludmila is actually ever going to tell her story? Yes. And I was so surprised when she started just telling. Just like that. Okay, chapter 23. So, Ludmila starts with a really cheerful scene, right? Let me just read that paragraph. Okay, imagine us young, like you and the twins. I was 9, Amar 12. We lived in a big old apartment building. It was full of houseplants and bright tablecloths and people stopping by all the time and lovely cooking smells and cheerful voices and fiddle music. We lived on 4th floor. It was an old stone building with all kinds of what you call carving stone decorations on the front in the beautiful old European city of Sarajevo, in which was known as Bosnia. Does it actually sound like the beginning of a fairy tale? definitely. I was actually thinking the same thing as I read it. I was like, this is like a fairy tale. But Lumila says it doesn't end like a fairy tale, so. And then Davis comes, so I guess that everybody's sort of gonna listen. Do you think that the twins are gonna come? I actually thought that they were good, but they didn't. But those twins are too rough and rowdy. They wouldn't really fit for a good story time, in my opinion, anyway. So we learned that Lumila's father was in the military and he was gone. And Lumila's mother was just about to have a baby. And also, everything bad was happening in the streets, and like the people in the hills were attacking. Does this remind you of anything? This reminds me of the sort of like the conflict in the Middle East with the Taliban and all that. I really want that to end too. So now, we have the Taliban and the war in Ukraine. Hopefully, both of them are resolved, though politically, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. And I have a question. Do you think that you should have a lot of faith in the world? Yeah, but not too much faith so that your whole life and your family and everybody you love, like their lives are also tied to just that faith. You should have faith. That's always important. Having faith is what sometimes propels people to what they need to do. But at the same time, you shouldn't just hang on faith. Faith is a string, but it is easily breakable. It isn't like a fact. It's more of a feeling, and it's just a feeling. Yeah, it's just a feeling. And if that feeling is not true, your string breaks and you're dead. I want to put it really realistically, because that's basically what happened to Lumila's father, right? He was killed in war, and after that, the whole country, bam, disappeared. Yeah, I just really don't like this part. I mean, they could only get moldy vegetables, right? And then Lumila's grandfather was killed. And really, basically, what was your least favorite part of the story? When Lumila's grandfather died, I thought that was so sad. And does Lumila remind you of the Firebird? She wouldn't be the first thing I would think of, but in a way, she is the Firebird. Even though in all that smoke and flames, she survived. And in the end, what do you think is going to happen to Lumila's family? Prediction. I don't know why, but I think that Lumila's mom is going to die. Well, of course, because, you know, Lumila lives with a foster family. If her mom was there, then her mom would be taking care of her. So, yeah, she was probably killed. Maybe out in the streets or something. Or maybe she just died because of childbirth. And then after that, Lumila and Amar, I don't know. I also have a feeling that the building was attacked because I've read a lot of like refugee books, and mostly the building that they live in is attacked, and you know, those things happen a lot. And they still happen today. So, and then Charlie goes back into a memory, and he thinks about this memory while he's in bed. And so, this is actually the last time that he saw his father in the, you know, like, not unconscious. And do you think that Charlie then, do you think that Charlie should have hated him for leaving? No, because that's basically the last thing, right? Before his father left. That was the last thing that he felt towards his father. Now, after that, I mean, like, Charlie isn't that hateful, but still. Now, do you think that Charlie's dad should leave? Well, if I was in the military, I wouldn't leave. So, do you think that this war in Afghanistan is ever going to get resolved. I don't know, but there's still gonna be conflict after a long time after this. But maybe there's gonna be a peace treaty, but who knows? Now, what would you have dreamed if you had been Charlie? Because Charlie dreams of General Custer and yelling fire and a desert jeep exploding in flames and Lumila's grandfather and mother way down, and they have bags running in a fog with like fiery smoke everywhere, and there's prairie grass ablaze, and a little brown bird is there. Who do you think the little brown bird is? I mean, it might just be a little brown bird, but I just thought of Lumila when I saw that little brown bird. Now, if you had been Charlie, what would you have dreamed? I would have dreamed of this. Because my dreams, here's the thing, they don't mostly my dreams are one story, and they don't have someone from here, another thing from here, another thing from here, another thing from here. Like how Charlie had General Custer from history and Little Bighorn, the desert jeep from his father's accident, the Firebird from Tiberius Shaw's journal, and also the Lumila's parents and grandfather from Lumila's story. Mine is just one story, and this is actually sort of a real thing. I would have probably dreamed I lived in Lumila's and Lumila and Amar's, I would be living like Lumila and Amar. That's probably what I would be dreaming. That's most likely. Though mostly I don't really dream a lot. I mean, if I do dream, I don't even remember it. But yeah, I don't think I would have dreamt in the first place. But if I did, that would probably be what I dream. Though we all don't know. But who knows? If you actually predict that you're going to dream something and you dream something or exactly like it, please tell me in the comments below. I would be delighted to hear about that. Well, actually, we finished these chapters. Awesome. I hope that you enjoyed these chapters in The Sunday Birds by Sally J. Plow. And next time we can keep on going through the story. So that's going to be really fun. And yeah, I hope that you're really going to enjoy the book. One thing that I wanted to talk about is about people in need. The war in Ukraine is raging right now. The Taliban in Afghanistan, I mean, there's just a lot of chaos in the world. So I advise you to donate to organizations and other places that help people, so that people in the world, I mean, we're all one species. We're all humans. So we can try to help some other less fortunate people. Okay? Just one thing I really want you guys to think about after reading The Sunday Birds. This is really gonna help you also understand The Sunday Birds better. So it's a win-win, okay? They're mostly a win for those people because they need the help and support that we can give. Now, a few last questions. What was your favorite part in these chapters, and what was your favorite part in the whole book so far? In these chapters, my favorite part was when I really like that memory that Charlie had with his dad. That was probably the brightest moment in the whole story. In the whole book, and I don't mean the whole story. Sorry, I mean all these chapters that we read, that we talked about in this video. And my favorite part in the whole book is probably when, Charlie went and saw the GHO and the stars. That was my favorite part. For some reason, I really like that part because I really love when I look into the stars. What was your favorite character and your least favorite character? My favorite character, Tiberius. I like Tiberius, but Lumila is pretty cool in my opinion. My least favorite character, I don't have a least favorite character, but I'm not a big fan of Davis. She's like throwing love left and right. She's not using love responsibly. But I think that Davis is okay too. She's not bad. I don't know. I mean, I like everybody. Like, there's no like real enemy, no clear enemy. So I'll just leave it to that. Now comes my favorite question. How did you like the book so far? You know why? Because that makes you think, review, and then if you like it, you can say you like it. If you didn't, well, you can always like another book, because it's not like we're gonna love all the books in the universe. I've read a lot of really famous books that I actually don't really like. But the thing is, luckily, I still do book clubs for most of them. But yeah, for example, out of every 11 books I read, approximately, I don't like one. So, but that's a lot of books to read. So, I mean, that's not a lot of books that I don't like. So, it's like 1 to 10. So, now, I want to talk about predictions. Of course, since you did it the last time, or maybe it was the last time, whatever. I am gonna do predictions today. Okay, what do you think is going to happen on their trip? Do you think that Charlie's going to find some other birds? If so, what do you think the first birthday spot is going to be? Or do you think it's gonna be another bonus bird? And also, what about Ludmilla? Do you think that she's going to tell more of her story? Do you think that, how do you know Ludmilla's mom died? Do you think that Charlie is going to get out of his stubborn habit? Do you think that Davis is going to stop loving and begin to understand that loving randomly is bad? Also, do you think that when they visit a friend in Illinois, what do you think is going to happen there? What do you think is going to happen to Charlie's dad? And what about Joel and Jake? Do you think they're finally going to get the ice water that they really need? And finally, do you think that he's going to get to Tiberius Shaw or not? Those are some things that we're going to explore in the book as we keep on going. One hint, ice waters coming up soon, if you've not read ahead yet, okay? Hope that you enjoyed the awesome book by Sally J. Plough, and